You're on? Hey YouTube, PD2 Finger back at you. So today we put together a signal splitter box. So the idea with this is I'm doing a wet, dry, wet rig. So that means I'm going to have a stereo digital rig. That's my existing rig that we make music outdoors. My wife and I built like these battery amps. It's basically like a PA, mini PA. And I wanted to add a analog, like it's just a regular 12-inch Fender guitar speaker, and keep that center channel free from any modulation or reverb or delay. Just keep it for, basically a clean tone, overdrive tone, and a distortion tone. So that entails splitting the guitar signal, and I didn't want to do that passively. Initially, for the testing, I set up a old Boss Chorus pedal. I tested that yesterday or the day before. I tested the current draw on it to see how long would a 9-volt battery last. I tried to figure that out. Oh my goodness, and I didn't even think, you know what, we need to try that on this. But the idea was to go ahead and build a circuit that would accomplish the same task, meaning 1 in and 2 out. So where my guitar is coming in here, I'm going to have another copy of that. Why are we humming here? Going to have another copy of that coming out. I've got hot glue remnant on here, and it's making my, what do they call that, ADHD? It's making me want to pick it all off.
It's OCD.
OCD. So basically, you could take a look here and see that it's a TLO72 op amp. Special thanks to Paul in the lab for this Vero layout. It uses a pair of 10 mega ohm resistors, a pair of 10 microfarad capacitors, a 100 nanofarad capacitor, and a TL072, which is a dual op amp on a 12 by 6 piece of Vero board or strip board. So, do you want to hear it? Oh, I forgot to hook up the other amp. That's the test oscillator I was telling you about. This thing is changing colors up here. That's what's producing the annoying tone. And what I'll do is... So yeah. This battery is dying in this little amp. And it's playing taps. It's playing taps for itself. Sounds like R2-D2 when he falls into the pit. So yeah. It works, and basically, to try to explain this a little bit better, how I have this set up right now, this is a wallet box that I got from Goodwill for 50 cents. So rather than use a real Hammond box, it's really light. So I drilled a couple holes in here, and these are some pieces of slat wood that I cut out of a baby crib. Somebody threw a baby crib out, and I got those pieces of wood, and they've come in handy quite a few times. So that just gives it a little weight and sturdy as it sits better with those two rails, I think. I cut a slat of cardboard and hot glued that down in there. We used a... The problem with using this as a medium is drilling it out. You end up you're going to want to wear gloves. when you drill it, there's a lot of burrs that get left behind. The metal just pushes in around it. So you might want to come in at another angle, flip it around, and try to remove that flash. And then, needle nose is your friend to remove that. So I installed the input and then the 2 outputs. And I may wish to move this one, which will just be a case of, well, I guess I'll have to extend the wires, but anything's possible. And I should note there's another design of this. This is an op-amp design. There's another design of this that uses JFETs. And the reason I didn't use that is I've got some SMT JFETs coming in. I've got some older JFETs. I just didn't want to mess with it. This Vero was so simple. Look at this layout. It's a chip, 2 resistors, 2 capacitors. Oop, I lied. There's 3 capacitors. That's all it is. Now, mind you, you've got these cuts here. There's 5 cuts and 3 jumpers. And thanks to Paul in the lab for this layout. This is his signal splitter. And basically what I did was I ran the minus side of this 9-volt battery to the input jack. There's 3 connectors on that. 2 of them are for ground and 1 of them is for the hot or the center conductor of your 6 point or whatever quarter inch. So when I plug this all the way in, that's not good. The first 2 get connected. So basically I ran the minus wire from the battery to number 2, and number 1 goes to the circuit board. So this part of the cable connects in between those 2 and acts as a switch and connects the circuit, closes the circuit, and turns the battery on. Now you're saying, well, what's with the switch? Well, I ran the positive side through this switch, and the reason I did that is oftentimes we'll take a long break. I'll set this stuff up, and it's outdoors. We park the car and we have to drag everything over there, set everything up, and then I'm going to want to take a break. So at that point, rather than have to put my hand on this and pull the cable out, I can just hit this toggle switch, and that's going to shut the battery off. I can go have a piece of pizza, use the outhouse, wash my hands, come back, hit the switch, and I'm ready to go. So it's kind of a double switching idea, and the reason that I included this other switch is because usually I'm in a hurry at the end of the night. It's getting dark, and I might forget to shut this off. There's no power LED. So what I won't ever forget to do is unplug it. I'll always unplug this before I pack it up. So that's how I wired the power, double switching. The Vero is really self-explanatory. Sloppy hot glue for mounting. The battery's got a little bit of hot glue to hold that in there. And when that battery dies, I will just rip it out of there, and I'll use a embossing tool, which you can just stay here. You don't have to move. Is this mini hairdryer, but it's really hot. So what I can do is pop that battery out of there. All the glue will stay there, and then I can use this, and it'll heat that glue up again real nice, and then I can pop another battery in there. So this is the DIY signal splitter. I very well could have built this into a 1590B, or it wouldn't have fit in a 1590A. Maybe it could have. I know there's guys that do incredible stuff with those 1590 boxes, so I don't want to say that. But with an internal power supply, which that's really what I'm going for. So yes, the box is ridiculously large, but it only cost me 50 cents. It's lighter than the Boss Chorus, the bass chorus, Boss Chorus. So stay here. I'm going to grab that Boss Chorus so I can. It's a CEB3 is what this is. And this is originally the idea what we were going to use. It's got 1 and 2 out, and that's a mod switch. This switch goes up to the rate control. So the middle wire on the rate control wires to this switch and then comes through. So when you shut that down, what it does, the chorus completely stops moving. You know, a chorus, whenever you turn it on, you hear that it's kind of moving. And I like the chorus pedal. When you turn the rate all the way down, it stops moving. And you just get this kind of tight delay. It almost sounds like a sewer pipe or a toilet paper towel tube. And you can adjust that with the depth and tune it to resonant peak of whatever chord you're playing. I like to tune mine to an A. And that's one of my favorite sounds, depending on the chorus. This chorus, I don't know. It does that trick, but I really like my older, like the Digitech, the Dodd stereo bass chorus that I have. Just sounds better. The CE2, the actual Japanese CE2 that I have, does this, but I didn't mod it, and it still moves, and that gets to me. But yeah, that's another way to mod. If you like that not moving chorus sound, that kind of real tight delay, that's what you can do. Wire in a switch for the rate control, the middle wire on the rate pot. If you break that with this SPST switch toggle, it will stop moving. That's the LFO. You're disconnecting the LFO. And then you tune it to where you want it to sit using the depth control. It won't hurt anything. When you turn the switch back on, the LFO comes back up, and you can play all you want. Your heart's content. This one, like I said, I'm going to save the wear and tear on this. The idea with this was giving me something to do today, with this staying home thing. I've been keeping myself busy doing electronic projects, and this is something I've always wanted to build. So now I have one. And it was a simple, fun, easy build. I very well could update this, meaning if I don't like its performance, I can build the JFET model and use the chassis and the switch and the battery and everything, all the other work that I already did. So we'll have to see how it pans out. It should be good. I haven't played guitar through it yet, but the beep beep test, it sounded good on the beep beep. Let's see if we still get that R2D2 flanging. No, we don't. So yeah, we'll have to see how it performs, and I'll tell you what, I will be bringing the bass chorus. More than likely, I'll set this up for a legit test with some real big boy amps before we go out. And when we go out, I will bring this. But after we test it, and know everything's good, and I'm sure it will be fine. We'll be rocking and rolling with the Paul in the Lab signal splitter. All right, you guys, thank you for joining me. Like I always try to remind myself to say, good thoughts, good words, good deeds. My wife and I became grandparents just the other day. Our lovely daughter had a son, and we're super happy and excited about that. If you haven't checked out any of my music, I'd encourage you to take a look at 02022020, aka Slow Malone, is the album that I dropped this year in February. So check that one out, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.